So we're going to be analyzing this data set using Excel, and we're going to be making use of descriptive statistics. And ordinarily, we're supposed to see a tool here, which is called Analysis Tool, but it is not there because we did not enable our Analysis ToolPak. So the first thing we're going to do is to enable the Excel Analysis ToolPak. And for this, I'm going to go to the File menu and click it. Then if you look at the bottom, you will see the options. So you click on the options. And then you move over to the add-ins, and you can see Manage Excel Add-ins. So you click on the Go. So here you can see the available add-ins. We'll have the Analysis ToolPak, we'll have Analysis ToolPak VBA, we'll have Euro Currency Tools, we'll have Solver add-in. But what we're interested in is the Analysis ToolPak. So I'm going to check this Analysis ToolPak and then click OK. So this is going to enable the data analysis tool. Then the next thing to do is to use this tool to perform analysis on the data set. Essentially, when you do descriptive analysis, you want to see how your data is dispersed. You want to see things like standard deviation. You want to see things like mean, minimum, that is the mean, or you want to see the maximum value. You want to see the number of respondents or the number of entries in a data set, something of that nature. So, but we can do something similar to this using the Excel pivot table. For instance, if we want to get the mean level, mean satisfaction level, we can easily determine this using the pivot table. So I'm going to go ahead and do this analysis using the pivot table and then show you how we can perform a proper descriptive analysis using the data analysis ToolPak. So for the pivot table, I'm going to be selecting this data set. So I'm going to be selecting all these cells. Then the next thing to do is to go to the Insert ribbon. Here, I'm going to click on the pivot table. And we've already selected our table range. Then the next thing is where we want the pivot table to be placed. And I want this pivot table to be placed in this worksheet. So I'm going to click on Existing Worksheet. Then for the location, I can simply click on any of the cells in this worksheet and then go ahead and click OK. So this is going to insert the pivot table for me. Then the next thing to do is to select the pivot table fields. And for this, I'm going to select the respondent ID and I'm going to select the satisfaction level. And if you look at the pivot table, you can see we have sum of respondent ID, we have sum of satisfaction level. But what we intended to get is number of respondents and average satisfaction level. This is what we expected to get. So I'm going to go over to these values here, click here, and then click on the value field settings, and we want a count. So I'm going to be selecting count, and then I'll go ahead and click OK. So we have 25 respondents. Then the next one is the satisfaction level, and we're looking for the average. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and then click on the value field settings and select the average and click OK. So this is the average for the satisfaction level, which is 3.4. And then this is the number of respondents. So now we're going to be using the Excel Analysis ToolPak to perform a descriptive analysis on the same data set. And I can quickly delete this pivot table. So I'm going to be selecting the pivot table and then hit on the delete key. So this is going to delete the pivot table for me. So for this descriptive analysis, I'm going to go over to the data ribbon, and here I can click on the data analysis here. The next thing to do is if you look at this data analysis dialog box, you can see there are different analyses you can perform using the Analysis ToolPak. We'll have the ANOVA. This one is the two-factor with replication. We'll have correlation. We'll have covariance. We'll have descriptive statistics. But what we want to do now is descriptive statistics. So I'm going to click on descriptive statistics and then click OK. Then the next thing to do is to provide the input, and this is the data set that you want to analyze. So now I'm going to click at this upward arrow here and then select the data set that I want to analyze. Then click on this downward arrow here. Then I'll leave it at grouped by columns, And then you have an option of checking whether the labels are in the first column. And since our selection didn't include the titles or the headers or the labels, so we don't need to check this option. Then the next one is the output option. So we have the output range. You can specify the range of cells where you want the output to be placed. You may want your output to be in a new worksheet. So let me select the output range. Here I'm going to be specifying the cells where I want the output to be displayed. And for this, I'm going to click on this icon, and I can simply select any cell in this worksheet because I want it to be in this worksheet. So I can select any cell and then click here again. Then the next thing is to provide the options you want for your analysis. So I'll be needing the summary, statistics, and then there's what we call the confidence level. And currently it is at 95%. So I'm going to check this option. And typically most descriptive analysis confidence level is always placed at 95%. This is the same thing as error margin of 5%. So let's leave it at 95% confidence level, and I'll go ahead and click OK. So this is going to present a descriptive analysis of the data. And here you can see some of the variables it was able to compute for me. We'll have the mean. The mean is 3.4, which was the same thing we got using the pivot table. We'll have the standard error. We'll have the median. We'll have the mode. We'll have the standard deviation. We'll have the sample variance, kurtosis. We'll have range. We'll have minimum. We'll have maximum. We'll have sum, count, and the confidence level we chose was 95%. So you can see in a couple of seconds we're able to perform a descriptive analysis on this data set. So let's take a look at another data set, and this is a data set comprising of scores of students. And we're going to be performing a descriptive analysis on this data. So the first thing I'm going to do is to click on this data analysis tool. So I'm going to click on it, and here we'll leave it at descriptive statistics. Then I'll click OK. And we're required to provide the input range. And for this, I'm going to click on this icon here and select the data that I want to perform a descriptive statistics on. So I can select only the English language. So this is the scores, and as you can see, English out of 100. So this is 78 out of 100. So let me quickly select the scores for the English language and then click on this icon. Then the next one is to provide the output option, and I'm going to leave it at the output range. Then I'm going to select where I want the output to be displayed. So I can simply select this and then click here. Then we'll leave it at summary, statistics, and confidence level 95%, and then I'll click OK. So this is what we have. So you can see that for English language across the scores gotten from different students, that the mean score is 77%. Then we'll have the median, we'll have the mode, we'll have the minimum. The minimum score there is 59, and then the maximum score is 95. And then this is number of students, which is 25, and the confidence level of 95%. So this is what we have. So now let's perform an analysis comprising of all the subjects. So for this one, I'm also going to click on the data analysis tool, leave it at descriptive statistics, and then click OK. Then for the input range, I'm going to select this icon and then select all the scores here for the 3 subjects. Then click on the icon again, and then the next thing to do is to provide the output options. So I'm gonna leave it at output range, but I need to specify the cell where I want it to be displayed. So for this, let's keep it at this position. It's gonna start from this position, then click on this icon, and then click OK. So now we have our analysis, and from our analysis you can see that we have different subjects. So for the different subjects that we have this one can be for English, the next one is for maths, Then the next one is for history. So now we can see the analysis. And for the maths, you can see that the mean score is 82%. And here we'll have the minimum score, which is 67%. We'll have the maximum score, which is 95%. And for the history, you can see that the mean is 78%. And then for the minimum, we'll have 63, and the maximum will have 95. So this is how simple it is to perform descriptive statistics using Excel.